BigView teleprompter, create videos you're proud of. Easily trim your video by selecting the words where you want to start and end. Color your presentation with automatic subtitles and highlighting keywords. Add your brand logo. Add music for an emotional touch. Add your contact info on an animated business card on all your videos. Easily replace green screen with an image or a video loop. Stand out with a web page with your logo, your video at the center, and personalized button for visitors to interact. It's one tap to simultaneously upload your videos on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Always know what to say next with the BigView teleprompter.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Big View learning session. This is going to be fantastic. Guess what? Today we're talking about robots. I don't know if y'all are ready for this. I don't know if you're ready for this. Maybe we're not talking about dancing robots, but we are talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and how you can utilize that to not just script your videos, but to turn them into video marketing and sales letters that convert, attract your ideal audience, and ultimately help you to grow your business. Today's going to be fantastic. I'm going to introduce you to our speaker, our guest in just a few moments, but I want to walk through. First of all, let me just say hello to some of you. I see Geeta from California. Glad you're here. Oh my gosh. Monique from Fort Worth, Texas. I'm so glad that you're here. Let's see who else is in the room. Don Price, good to see you. Karen from Toronto. I used to live in Toronto. It was a fantastic place. I love it. Lou's like already asking how to make money on YouTube. Thank you, Lou. All right. Well, listen, during the session today, we're going to have a chance to answer your questions. So do me a favor. If you have a question during the session today, just type the letter Q before your question so that we can identify them really quickly. And I can pick out some so that we can get our guest to answer some of those today. Now, before we jump on in, if you have not yet downloaded BigView, if you have not yet subscribed to BigView, I want to make sure that you go to BigView, BIGVU.tv, so that you can get access to the app and begin using that as fantastically and as soon as possible. Now, we're talking about stories, we're talking about communication, we're talking about connection, and we're talking about video. My name is Robert Kennedy III, RK3, and I'll be running a video storytelling challenge from April 18th through the 20th. April 18th, 19th, and 20th. If you're a real estate agent, small business owner, entrepreneur, you can just head on over to videostorytellingchallenge.com, and we're going to be walking through how to level up your video utilizing the framework of storytelling so that you can also get leads that way. And guess what? We're going to be sharing how to use BigView a little bit in that challenge. So I want to make sure that you're there. Head on over to videostorytellingchallenge.com. And if you want to get in touch with me, go to get in touch with RK3 right here.com. All right. So here we go. Let me jump on in and I want to invite my guest up. Let me talk to the producer really quickly. Bruno, where's my guest? Where's my guest? I want to bring my guest up. My guest is Lisa. Lisa Remillard actually, Lisa, let me ask you really quickly. Let me make sure that I've got the pronunciation of your last name.
You nailed it. I was like, is he going to nail it? You nailed it.
Yes.
Remillard, yes.
Fantastic. Well, Lisa, for those of you who don't know about Lisa, she is a veteran television journalist, not a journalist, a journalist who's reported news and politics across the country for about 20 years. Now she does her news reports on TikTok, and she's got more than 2 million followers. She works with entrepreneurs, business owners, and executives, helping them to feel confident on camera through her company, ProMedia Coaching. And we're vibing here because Lisa uses her storytelling and on-camera expertise to really help those journalists, aspiring journalists, business owners to tell their stories effectively on camera so that they can connect with their ideal audiences. Lisa, let's jump on in.
Yes. Well, I'm so happy that when I heard that you were going to host this today, I thought, oh, good. He gets it. You know, the thing is that you get it. So listen, you and I preach the same topic, which is storytelling through video. You and I both know how important that is, especially in this day and age where social media is king, especially for or queen.
Yeah.
especially for your businesses. And I think a lot of the people who are here today understand that. And especially now with AI, there is a whole new world that has opened up. So let's get into what is happening. And as Robert said, I have been a television journalist for 20 years, reporting news and politics on television. And now I do this for social media, and I help my clients and business owners and entrepreneurs tell their stories effectively on camera so they can reach their ideal audiences. But now
before we jump in, I just want to remind our audience, make sure that you stick around because we're going to have a giveaway later on in the session at the end. So hang out, and I'll put the details for that giveaway in the chat. So look out for that, but hang out with us. Now, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So I have now 2.5 million followers on social media, and I have built that following because of the way that I believe I create videos, emotionally connected videos that hit my ideal audience because I know my ideal audience. And I would argue every one of you that is here with us right now, if you are a business owner and you are trying to sell your business, sell a product, sell your service, I would bet that you probably know your audience too. So now we have this AI thing, and I want to start by showing you some of the slides because we're going to start with the problem of video. Let's see if I can get this to go. Bruno, can you pull up the slides? I don't know if you can get it going for me. There we go. The problem with video. I'm sure a lot of you in the chat, tell me if you are one of these people. Have you said, I don't know what to say on video. I don't like how I look on video, or I don't have the time to create video. If you have felt any of those things, let us know in the chat. The good news is that AI can help solve some of these problems. As I said, not all, but definitely some. So let's talk about the realities of AI. It's good, but it's not that good at this point. Now, I'm not saying in 5 years it's not going to be fantastic. It very well could be. Just right now, it's not as good as you think it is. Think of this, at least this is what I tell my clients. Think of it as really good inspiration at this point. With AI, the way it is now, you need great fact checking. You need editing capabilities. And by editing, I mean script editing. And then the creative part of this becomes even more important than it ever has been before. And I'm going to explain, you're going to see why, because we're going to go through a whole demo together right now. The reason why I say the reality of AI, it's good, but it's not that good, is because video isn't just about the script. Let me say that again. Video isn't just about the script. If you want a great video that converts, there are 3 things you have to be able to hit on in order for that video to convert. And the script or the content is just one piece of that. And I will get into those other pieces in just a second. The last thing of the reality to know about AI is that if you're not feeding it great information, it's not going to give you back great information. So you really have to understand what you're feeding it in order to get something that's going to connect with your audience. Let's go to the Big View AI Writer. So if you have ever used something like the chat, I know everybody's talking about ChatGPT, so I'm just going to use that as an example. The ChatGPT functions a little bit differently than the Big View AI and the chatbot here. You have a desktop version through Big View and you have a mobile version. They're slightly different in their functions. The mobile one, you can sort of talk to text and you can tell it what you want verbally. You don't have to type it out. In the desktop version, you have to type it out. One is not better than the other. There is just 2 different types of functions. So that is the basics of what you can, on the mobile version and the desktop version, you can have it create something to pitch my business, a video sales letter, a script with tips, or news to share. Those are sort of the categories. You pick one and then you give it the prompt. And the prompt, I know people are going to tell you, is the most important part of all of this. And that is absolutely accurate. In a prompt for AI, you have to actually tell it who you are. And the way you do that is different sort of from Big View to, again, just for example's sake, we're using ChatGPT. Tell it who you are. What is your business? Give it your elevator pitch. So if you don't know what an elevator pitch is, I help my clients do that. But an elevator pitch, for all intents and purposes, is a one-sentence line that tells you or tells your audience exactly what you do in all, compact into one sentence. And that's what you have to give this thing, your elevator pitch, so it knows who you are. Then you have to tell it what you want. You have to be really, really specific about that. And I'm going to show you a prompt example in just a second. And then you have to be polite to it. That's just me. I think it's probably worth it to say thanks and please to this thing, because you never know what it's going to happen with AI in the future. But I always just am polite. So let's do a demo and show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to share my screen here. Here we go. Share. Before we go, Robert, do you want to ask any questions before we go further, before we share any screens?
Let me see. There are no questions about what we're talking about just yet. I see some comments. When it creates a script for you, it makes everything flow better. I think there are, those are the big ones. Okay. Yeah, I'll reach out, or I'll just ping you, or we'll jump in.
Okay, very good. All right, so let's get into a prompt. Here we go. So I just to keep things moving this morning, I already created a prompt for this script. And I selected through Big View, I want news to share. And then I want the tone to be persuasive. So the prompt I wrote, please write an engaging video script with a catchy hook to help my viewers feel comfortable on camera. Please include 3 tips for best practices for being comfortable on camera. Through my one-on-one coaching, I help entrepreneurs, small business owners, and executives learn all the secrets of how to show up on camera as their best selves so they can emotionally connect with their ideal audiences in video. The video call to action will encourage viewers to book a free 15-minute consultation with me so that I can help them create amazing videos. So I have given it specific instructions about what I want it to do. I've told it what kind of script I want. I've told it the name of my company and what I do in my elevator pitch. I've given it the purpose of the video, and just a good standard practice. It's not necessary in Big View's AI chat writer, but in a ChatGPT, I always ask it, is there anything else you want to ask me before you start writing? And it will usually ask you to define a couple more things, and it just gives you a more concise answer in the end. In Big Views, you can't really talk to it that way, so you don't have to put it there. But in ChatGPT, I would always ask it, is there anything else you want to know from me before you move forward? Okay, so let's just see what it comes up with. Why does it, of course, right now it's like, no. Let's try this again. News to share, persuasive, AI prompt. Copy. Put it in here. It was just angry because it was a stale. Here we go. It's thinking. Okay, so it has now given me, and I hope you guys can all see this, it has now given me 3 different options, right? You see that, 3 different options? Okay, we're going to get back to that in a second. If we can go back to the slides, because there we go. Because this would be the good time to explain to you why none of those are going to work. So there are pieces of those scripts that are going to work. But if you just copy that and paste it into a script and then just do it, I guarantee you it is not going to convert the way you want. And there's a lot of reasons why. We're going to go through those in a second. But just don't rely on any sort of AI, because it doesn't know you, and it certainly doesn't know the audience, and it's certainly not at this point as creative as you can be yourself. So let's talk about how to create videos that actually connect with your audience, and then we can go back to the scripts and we can tweak those to make it convert. So the 3 components I said at the beginning, your script isn't the only component of video. There is also the technical part of it, which is, your lighting, your sound, your framing, how do you look, how do you sound in the video. Then there's the content, which would include your script. And then there's the presentation part of it. How are you presenting yourself on camera? Are you presenting yourself like you're engaged and you're excited? Or are you presenting yourself like this? There's a big difference. And that difference will be the difference of whether you're going to connect with an audience or not. Every story has a beginning, middle, and end. I know Robert is all about the storytelling, as am I. And right, every story has a beginning, a middle, and end. It has an arc. You understand the flow of it. I always say you understand the structure of it. You start the arc, you complete the arc by the end of the video. And for businesses, I always like to add a call to action at the end of those videos, because you always want your audience to know what you want them to do as a result. You're giving them something, and there's something for them to do at the end. So the beginning is something catchy. The beginning is your hook. The beginning is what is going to lure your audience in to your video. The hooks can be the most challenging part, because that's where you have to be creative. And that's where all your know-how of your audience comes into play. That's where you make the connection, the first emotional connection, and then you deliver on that connection in the video. The middle is, I call the meat of the story. Like, what are the goods here? What are you delivering for your audience? The middle of your video is where that part happens. And then, of course, the end can be a surprise. It could be something that your viewer didn't know, or it can be your call to action. So now, back to the demo. Now that we know this, okay, is there any questions about any of that stuff? Nothing?
Not about that. I'm just seeing that somebody's asking about or mentioning about they noticed that the script writer only allows about 800 words. And so I shared with them that it's fine. And great observation. If we're talking about English in the United States, average speech is about 140 to 150 words if you're talking a little bit fast per minute. So 800 words is right around 5 minutes of video scripting, and that's quite a bit. So
it's a little long, right? I like all my videos, and I always try and encourage my clients to keep their videos around 60 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, they can go a little over a minute 20 maybe, but I try and keep it short and tight, especially because sadly, our attention spans have gotten shorter and shorter and shorter over the years. So now I'm going to go back to the, not that. We're going to go back to the script writer so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to just tell you all 3 of these, even though I told it to give me a hook, gives me no hook. Each one of these says something like, good evening, or good evening, I'm Lisa. Let me tell you, and Robert will know this as well, If you are wasting the first 3 seconds, the prime real estate of your video with good evening, I'm Lisa, or using your name in the first 3 seconds, you are doing this wrong. Nobody, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but nobody, the viewers do not care about your name, especially the viewers who don't know you. The viewers who don't know you care about what you're going to deliver for them. So deliver that in the first 3 to 5 seconds. Breaking news, that is not going to get anyone's attention. Good evening, my fellow aspiring content creators. That is not going to get anybody's attention. Good evening, I'm Lisa, and today I'm here to speak about something. Absolutely not. None of those things are going to catch anybody's attention. But I sort of, when I'm working with AI, sort of start from the middle, because that's the meat. And what I asked it to do was to create 3 tips to help people feel comfortable on camera. Now, understand that AI isn't going to give you some never before heard monumental tips that nobody's ever heard about before. It's just going to sort of gather the most popular things that are said on the internet and sort of compile them into clear and concise language. So you're not going to be breaking ground with any of these tips. I just want you to, keep your expectations in check. But some of them will work. I mean, this one, the tips are, it's okay to be nervous, blah, blah. Second, make sure you're well-versed in your topic. Don't forget to be yourself. Okay, those are sort of really generic, and I don't love those. So let's see, tip number 1, take deep breaths before filming, focus on your breathing. That's good. Okay, I'll buy that. Tip number 2, practice makes perfect. I say this all the time, so that would make sense. Number 3, be yourself. Okay, I like these 3 tips. So let's add this script to Big View, to my script writer. So what I would do would be cut out this entire top, because that, first of all, is not a hook. That's a paragraph. This script is, the way it's written right now, it's meant for somebody to read. And we know video is meant for somebody to watch and hear. So that's not going to work. I just want to make sure that there was nothing good in here that we can use. Sometimes there's some pieces of a hook that are in here that you can use, but I would not use any of that. So let's delete that part. Tip number 1, take deep breaths before filming. Okay, so this is sort of repetitive. I would cut this part out. That's repetitive. Let's try and shorten number 2 up. Practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. This part's repetitive. Process and build. This will help you get, I think we can cut out both of these lines, because we're trying to keep it at a minute. Tip number 3, be yourself. Authenticity is key when creating a video that resonates with your audience. Don't try to be someone you're not. That's perfect. Let's cut out that line. If you're struggling with these tips, okay, so let's think of a hook for this. Let's just say the hook is something like, do you struggle with creating videos for your, do you struggle with creating videos for your business? Well, you don't have to struggle anymore. Something like that. Let's say, do you struggle videos for your business? What if I told you, why don't we say this? Do you struggle with videos for your business? Do you struggle with creating for your business? Why not? Don't worry, I'm here to help. But before I do that, I want to give you 3 things, 3 tips you can do right now to feel a little better on camera. Shorter, concise, personal. My audience, I know I'm talking to somebody who is a business owner, who's creating videos, who's struggling. I'm letting them know right off the bat, I'm here to help, and I'm going to give them 3 tips. So then I give them the 3 tips, And then if you're struggling with these, let's see, if you're still struggling with struggling with being comfortable on camera, or want to take your on-camera presence to the next level, I'm here to help. And then I would cut all this out and I would say, your call to action, book a free 15-minute consultation with me today. And I would just say, the link is in my bio. So you see how that went from, what was that? That was probably 3 minutes, and I got it down to 58 seconds, which is exactly what we're going for. The thing about AI is, like you just saw, in real time. So like, that wasn't my best hook off the top of, that's just something I just came up with off the top of my head, right? But the thing with AI is there are good bones in it, but you can't rely on it 100% because it's, one, not that witty, not that creative. And in order for you to be creative, in order for you to catch somebody's attention and to get people hooked into your video, you have to be creative enough to get their attention, but also give them what you're going to do for them off the top. And then deliver on that thing, and then reiterate that you delivered on that thing, and then tell them how they can get more of that thing. Especially when we're talking about businesses, right? Because the whole point of this is for you to sell your business, to sell your service, to sell your product. You have to be able to do that. And in order to do that, you need to be short, concise, creative, and get right to the point, and be your best self. I've done several workshops with Big View as well. So if you haven't seen those, go and watch about how to actually create that emotionally connected video, and how to sort of present yourself on camera. They're all still available on Big View's YouTube. But this is I just wanted to give you a short taste of that in terms of the AI. And one last thing I want to mention. I mentioned the giveaway. I put together a checklist of all of the things you want to include in your prompt. So it'll tell you, it reminds me, oh gosh, I didn't put my elevator pitch in there, or oh, I didn't tell it exactly what the goal of this script is. So it'll just sort of keep you on track. And if you want that, you can just email me, Lisa@LisaRemillard.com, and I will get that prompt checklist out to you. And I think they'll make sure that my email is in the chat for you. So I'll stop talking.
So we've got a couple of questions here. Then they're kind of in the same realm with regard to time. Some people are asking, can you tell the Big View AI about a limit of time that you need because they need a 1-minute video? Somebody's asking about AI time markers. So what are your thoughts about how do we create a 1-minute video script using?
I mean, you could. I've never given it a time limit. When I have tried to sort of talk to it in that way, with Big View specifically, and again, I want to, like I've said a couple of times, the Big View AI functions differently than a Chat GPT functions. You can sort of do that in Chat GPT, I know, a little bit easier. I have not tried it in Big View. Let's try it. Why don't we try it right now? Hold on.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hold on. Let's just ask it.
While you're doing that, is your email Lisa@LisaRemillard.com?
It is. Yes. Okay. Lisa@LisaRemillard.com.
Fantastic. Somebody's asking that question as well. So while you're looking for that, I'll just approach another question here. So Les is asking, will Big View use artificial people to record the video for us going forward? And does Lisa recommend this?
Listen, absolutely not. I don't do this, you guys. Come on. I know you don't want to be on camera. I get it. Trust me. Like I said at the beginning, those are the three main things that people come to me about. They don't want to be on camera. Have you ever noticed how in anything in life, if you're looking at a picture, let's just say of a landscape, that's going to be pretty probably, and it will get some views and attention. But if you have a person in like right in the front of that frame with the landscape behind, you're going to get more attention. And the reason why is because people like to look at people. People like to hear from people. That's just the reality and function of being human. And so as much as you don't want to be on camera, I promise you, you are the best advocate for your own message. And if you have a business or a partner in your business that maybe is more comfortable and you don't want to do it, that's fine. But if it's your business, you've got to do it. That's how all these businesses are working right now. And if you haven't been on social media or TikTok or even Reels and seen these business owners who aren't like master classes in being on video, but they're just being themselves, they're converting because they're being themselves. And that's the point. So please don't get hooked into the idea that some robot is going to do this for you. I'm telling you, it's not, at least not right now. Maybe in 5 years when they create robots that really look like humans, things will be different. But right now, it's not the smart move. If you want to convert.
Yeah, I'll while you're looking for your screen, I'll even share this. There are definitely a lot of deep fakes out there. And what happens with technology when it first comes out, everybody's like, whoa, and they're just blown away by it. Over time, you begin to recognize some of the things that are robotic, some of the things that are not human about it. So if you want to maintain the integrity, if you want to maintain the authenticity of your business, then you want to show up as the real you. Because here's what happens. When you don't show up as the real you, people begin to ask some questions, and it wasn't the real you around, so that you can't really answer their questions in the way that you need to answer them, because it wasn't the real you. So
that's exactly
make a habit of showing up as the real you, because the real you is more real. How about that?
Even if you don't like it, right? Like, I guarantee you, even if you don't like it, it's still going to be better than if you're trying to get your way out of it. If you're trying to come up with other solutions so you don't have to be on camera, it's still going to be better. A bad you is still better than no you at all, is how I think of it. So I by the way, just to answer your question about will it do a 1-minute video, I asked it right here. I kept my prompt and I said an engaging 1-minute video, and it definitely did not give me a 1-minute video.
Okay.
Now, ChatGPT might be different. See, this is 1:30.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I should say, so the checklist is a freebie. If you guys want it, like I said, email me at lisaRemillard.com. And one other little giveaway, since for all of you who are still here, if you want to work with me one-on-one, I am giving the first 3 people who email me at the same address, lisa@lisaremillard.com, the first 3 people to email me who actually want to work with me will get a free 30-minute consultation with me, where I'll go through your videos and sort of give you some pointers right away and, action steps to move forward. And then we can talk about customizing and creating a program specifically for you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Take her up on that. She's a professional. She's a pro. Let me see what else there is. So there's somebody was asking about a technical question. This may be for our producers, Bruno, about, is there anything different between the studio version of Big View and the AI versus the upgrade? And then there's another question. Does Big View use Jasper or Chat GPT? Do you have any thoughts about that?
I actually asked Bruno the exact same thing. who would it, and according to Bruno, it is Big View's own sort of offshoot of they don't use either of those. It's an offshoot algorithm, is what I was told, but I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for Big View.
Yeah. So I this is not a question, but I want to bring this up, that some HRV official wrote this in the chat. They said they still give other solutions for students who have some sort of disability of speech so that they can still get on video, because you're saying even robot videos are better than no videos. What are your thoughts about that?
Wait, okay, say it again.
I still give other solutions to my students who have some sort of speech disability so that they can still create video messages. Even robot videos are better than no videos.
I gotta be honest that I have seen a lot of young people on social media that, you know, have some sort of issue that may to the outside world feel like a disability. But for them, and I will say that their videos do great. Just because you're not able-bodied and, you know, appear perfect on camera, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. There's a lot of people that I see on social media all the time who are very successful, and to sort of the outside world might not appear like the perfect specimen of a human being. So does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like people that might have a disability that would perhaps in the past hinder them from being on camera for whatever reason. I don't think that stigma is there anymore. I don't see it anymore, is my point, is that this has become at least from what I've seen, a more inclusive environment to where everyone has a chance. And that's the great thing about video, is if you know how to use it, it is an opportunity for anybody to become successful, to reach your ideal audience, because isn't that what we're all trying to do as business owners and entrepreneurs? Trying to reach our ideal audience to say, hey, I have something for you that's going to help you in your life be better. Or my story, by me sharing it, I feel like it might help other people. So. Yeah.
I think in conjunction with the disability mentioned in the chat, one of the questions that I get, especially in the case of public speaking, is people that feel like they have accents from other countries, and they're nervous about showing up on video, showing up in person in front of other people because they feel like they'll be criticized. Or people may say, I don't understand you, and that's going to cause them to shrink in that case. Do you have any recommendations about people that may be in that situation?
I believe fully, I believe that there is an audience for just about everything in this day and age. So if you feel that way, that's a little bit more in your head. I would never encourage, and I have never encouraged any of my clients to pretend to be somebody they're not in order to fit a mold they think they need to fit. So if you have an accent that you think might limit you, I mean, it might limit you in some categories, but are those the categories you're trying to reach? I would probably argue that if you have an accent that you're concerned about, I still believe there is an audience for you, because there are probably a lot of other people in this world that have the exact same accent that you do. And those people are going to gravitate towards you. And then ultimately, once you get a big enough following with with that audience, you can find ways to expand to other audiences that might not share your accent. And like I said, when you start to pretend to be somebody else other than who you are on camera, when you start to pretend, believe it or not, audiences can see right through it. And the authenticity isn't there. So they're like, why am I watching this person?
Right.
Don't you think, Robert? I mean,
I fully agree. I in full agreement. I share with people. I believe that your accent may be your superpower. Lean
yeah,
into it because it really is who you are. It's who you are. And if you the more that you try to hide, the more that you try to fix yourself for everybody else, you're not going to be able to fix yourself for every single person in a specific room because they all have different desires, different
right.
needs, different, schema, different things that they come with, that they come to that
Mhm.
space with. And so if you're trying to please every single person, you're going to please nobody.
That's
So,
and that's the whole point of knowing your audience, right?
yeah.
You have to know your audience and get very specific about who you're trying to target, because when you
Right.
target that, I always say it's the best at the beginning to be a really big fish in a really small pond, right? You want to be the voice in this audience that you've attached yourself to, because once you have enough of a voice among a smaller group of people, that voice can then be translated to other, and then you can try and expand your pond and become a bigger fish in bigger ponds. But you got to start somewhere, and the place to start is always going to be with the audience you're trying to target, because you
Yeah.
have something specific, especially as a business owner, that connects to that audience, that helps that audience, that benefits that audience in some way.
Yeah. There are a lot of questions coming through or comments coming through about the teleprompter part of this. So I'll kind of encapsulate all of them into one big thing. People are asking, can I use Big View as just a teleprompter? Can I pause it? Can I use Big View on the phone where I'm recording my
Yeah,
video, etc.?
absolutely.
So go ahead and share
All
more.
of those. Yes, all of those. Yes. So you can use Big View. It's got a great camera prompter. So you can
Yep.
shoot video and use the prompter at the same time. It's a really, I actually have a talk with Big View on how to use the teleprompter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did a whole talk on that. I've been doing this
Yeah.
for so many years with Big View. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I have one. So yes, you can use it. Yes, you can use it on your desktop. Yes, the AI scriptwriter is part of your Big View subscription, all plans. And yes, you can see there Big View has a 7-day trial that you can test as well. So yeah, it's great. It's great for all of those things. I would just caution you, if you're going to use a teleprompter, and again, I have a whole Big View talk on this.
Yeah.
If you're going to use a teleprompter, you got to just sort of know what you're going to say in your heart and your mind. Know your script before. Don't just type out your script, put it in a teleprompter, and then just try and read it cold without practicing it off camera and understanding your emotional connection and how you're going to present yourself on camera. Because if you type up a script, put it in the prompter, turn on your phone, and expect to have a great video come out just because you've got the words on the screen, it's not going to work for you. You've got to practice it and understand the actors is like, what's my motivation? So you got to understand the motivation behind what you're trying to do in order to convey the emotion through the camera, through your words, without doing things like this, like what I'm trying to do. Does that make sense?
And I may add to that, Lisa, that even if you're just starting out with the whole teleprompter, let's say that you decide you're going to just throw your script into the teleprompter and record it. If you do that, I would get into the practice of watching yourself and making sure that that is what you want to convey. If you're not clear about whether or not that's what you want to convey, send it to somebody else in your circle who's trusted, somebody else who can give you some feedback, or somebody who may not be close to you so that they don't want to hurt your feelings and give you just, oh, that was really nice. Is there somebody else that you can share it with that will say, yeah, this is what I got from it? Not asking them the question, hey, what'd you think about this video? But asking some more pointed questions. What did you understand from that? How did it make you feel when you watched the video, so that you can begin to get some feedback there? And then based on the feedback that you get, okay, this may be what I need to adjust in my video. I may need to be a little bit slower. I may need to speak with more meaning. I may need to add some pauses in my video. So I hope that everything that we're putting together and sharing here is really encouraging you to not shy away from AI and not shy away from teleprompters, but really just jump in and then figure out how to show up as your best, most authentic self on video using the tools that are
Right.
available to you.
So Tolo said, this is so true. It took up to 8 takes to get it natural. That's true. I mean, listen, there's, you think that, yeah, exactly. You think that putting a script in a camera and then like talking is going to be natural. But I'm telling you, as somebody who read a teleprompter professionally on television for years, it's a skill to read a teleprompter. So just know that if you know what you're going to say and you understand the script that you've written and you really know the emotion behind it that you're trying to convey to your audience, know that before you go in and start recording things. It just makes it feel a little bit more natural than just reading robotic because when you start to, especially when you're new at it, you're like, what's the next word? And then you see your eyes start doing like this in the screen. Yeah. that never looks right.
Yeah. Wow. Let me see if there's anything else here. I think people are really just asking about teleprompters. It seems like teleprompter has kind of taken over the chat.
Yeah. So so just so you know about teleprompter. So yes, of course, Big View has a great teleprompter. I know everybody keeps saying my mic is, oh gosh, because my mic is all jacked up. Is that better? Sorry, guys. My mic was really loud. I know everybody keeps talking about teleprompters, and of course we're here with Big View, which does have a great teleprompter for your desktop and for your mobile. The fact of the matter is, when I coach my clients, we don't use teleprompters for a good reason until later on in the program, because teleprompters can turn you very robotic, and robotic strips away your authenticity on camera. So you have to know how to do it without a teleprompter first before you can really start to train yourself to be great at using a teleprompter. And that's what I do in the programs for my clients, is teach them how to do this on their own without a teleprompter, just in case you go to a place where teleprompter is not available and you need to record a video. You're at an event that you are hosting for your business, and you need to be able to, create a video that's going to go up on your social media about it. And sometimes you don't have those gadgets, so you need to have those skills instead.
Yeah.
Sorry. So sorry, guys. The mic was all jacked up.
Well, we're here. And I think that may be even just an example. Okay. Yeah. As we're on video, there's several things that we need to walk through and check. Our microphone, as some of you are saying right here, the audio makes a difference. Yes, it absolutely does. So be aware of the experience that your audience is getting. And yeah, it's not going to be perfect every time. I mean, Lisa saw the comment and she could have been like, oh my gosh, and jumped off camera. Right? I'm not going to do this anymore. But it's stuff that happens. It's technology. There's going to be a mess up. You're going to do it 8 times, as somebody said. This is a part of what happens in the experience. It's a part of the journey. And we've just got to jump in if we're committed to making a difference for our clients and for our audience. So,
and if you don't, let me just say, and if you aren't doing video right now for your business, you are missing out. You are absolutely missing out. And here's the other thing is, with the now with AI and with how large the social media platforms are becoming in this country and how prominent and prevalent they are, if you aren't in the game, your business is going to suffer. I mean, it just is. You have to have marketing, and video is the #1 marketing source. And for the next foreseeable future, it's video, 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 video. So if you're not doing it, and even if you don't work with me, that's absolutely fine. If you take nothing else from today, is that I hope that you think about and start to create videos for your business. And like Robert's saying, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, your first videos are probably going to be very bad. And that's fine. And that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. So let's land the plane a little bit here.
Yeah.
We've got these AI tools that are incorporated in Big View and outside of Big View, as people are saying. But you're also saying that video is the future. It's the now. How can I separate my video from the pack? Because if everybody's doing video, what's going to make mine different, or what's going to make mine convert?
Yeah. Well, first of all, what's going to make yours convert is that you're not putting a prompt into AI and then just copy and pasting and just regurgitating. That's the first thing that's going to
Yeah.
make you convert. The second thing that's going to make you convert is that you are actually putting a little thought into your hook. You're putting actually, and by a little, I mean a lot. You're putting a lot of thought and creativity into that hook. That's the most important part of your video. If you're not hooking your people in the first 5 seconds of your video, you might as well not do the video, because it's not going to get the eyeballs that you need in order to make it worth your time to do it in the first place. Hooks can be very difficult to come up with. It takes creativity, it takes thought, and it takes you sort of understanding your audience and being able to talk to them. So if you want something that emotionally connects with your audience, and you want something that converts with your audience, I actually have, like I said, have a whole Big View talk about that, but you got to know your audience, and you've got to talk directly to your audience. Don't be scared of the camera. Look right down the barrel of the camera and talk to your audience. Don't look at yourself in the camera when you're recording. Look at the camera, right? Look at your audience and talk to them. And that's going to help them at least emotionally be like, who is this person? Maybe I should listen to this person.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's address one last question that's in the comment here. Do you recommend recycling old content?
100%. Yes. Recycle it, repackage it. I mean, listen, nobody's reinventing the wheel every single day. That's not conducive to running a business. I understand how busy business owners are. You have a lot of other things to do. So there is a lot of old content, I'm sure, that you have in your archives that just needs a new refresh. Like, it needs maybe you've gotten a better ring light. Maybe you've changed your hairstyle, or you feel like you didn't like the way you look in the original version of it. Or maybe you think, you know what? I actually thought of a better hook to get this information out to people. So there's absolutely a way to repurpose your content. You could also, if you've got a blog on something, or you've got an old Facebook post from like 5 years ago about some kind of content that you want to repurpose into video, absolutely. Here's the one last thing I will say about that, is that we all have big egos that we think that every single piece of content that we put out, everybody sees. Like 10% of your own audience sees your content. 50%, if you're lucky, sees your content every single day. So it never hurts to sort of say things in a different way, because you might hit a different person that didn't see your original.
Yeah. Yeah. I did say one last question, but I know some people are wondering this, and there's a question in the chat. How can I position my camera close to the teleprompter so that I'm looking at the camera? Are there special cameras? I've got some thoughts on it, but I'm going to turn it to you. What do you
how
think?
can I position my camera close to the teleprompter so that I'm looking at the camera? Okay, so, well, in terms of Big View, the Big View teleprompter is in the software. So if you are recording on your desktop, it'll be right there below where your camera is. So you sort of keep your eye line. And when you're recording on your phone, where's my phone? I don't know. Recording on your phone, it shows it in your phone. So you're looking at the camera while the prompter is going. Also, just basic practice. I always stand, I tell my people who are using teleprompters, I always have them stay in frame, but stand just a tish further away from the camera lens
Yeah.
It's not ideal to emotionally connect with your video. So that's a trade-off you have to balance in your head. When you're farther away from the camera, you become less intimate with your viewer. But if you are close to the camera and you're talking to people, right, that conveys a different emotion, right? So try and, it's a trade-off, but back away from the camera just a little bit, and then it'll reduce the, reading of your eyes on the teleprompter.
Yeah. And I gotta say, the big view, I was a little bit skeptical at first, but once I tried it a couple of times and I saw the results, I didn't see that left-right shifting of my eyes because of how close the script is to that actual mobile phone lens. So it's really good. It's a really good
So
way to do that.
I don't know if you can see my camera. So this is how a big view script looks on your camera. So your camera of your phone is right here. So when you're talking, and hold on, start script. So you sort of, when you're reading it sort of on this line, which is sort of close to the camera lens.
Yeah.
So you're keeping your eye right there.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, this is fantastic. So I'm getting a few thoughts or questions here about recordings of this presentation. It's live streamed. It's on YouTube.
I didn't know. Sorry about my mic.
That's all right. We're gonna make it through. We've made it through. And so this is on YouTube. It's live streamed, so you can come back to the Big View channel and grab this recording. It's a fantastic session. There are other sessions available for learning on how to be more excellent, more authentic on video. Lisa's got other things in not only the Big View channel, but if you go to Lisa's website, her website is fantastic, by the way. There's this video on her homepage with her walking to a ring light. It is amazing. And it's
That's
a
nice
model
of you,
of
Robert.
really, it's a model of what a lot of websites could be. So go check out her website. She's got content there to share with you about how you can not only work with her, but how you can up level your video and your presence on camera. So it's been fantastic.
So nice, Robert.
Yes.
Thank you for everything. Robert's awesome and the king of throwing GIFs and graphics up on the screen. He is the king. He's like so good at.
How about that?
That's great.
Excellent.
You,
excellent. All right, everybody. Well, listen, we're so glad that you joined us. Be sure to log in and find out when the next Big View learning session is. And I hope that you'll be able to join us for the next one. See ya. Storytellers, thanks for joining me on the session. I'm so pumped that we were connected, and I hope you found real value in what was shared. Do me a favor. I want to continue the journey with you. Head on over to RK3 That's Me. That's right, RK3That's.me. On that page, you'll find all of the different places on the interwebs that you can get connected with me. And there are also some great resources for you to download. Download them because they're designed to help you become better presenters, better communicators, and video storytellers. And that's what we need more of in this world, right? Listen, get connected, go to RK3 That's Me. I'm RK3, and I hope to see you